Hey, what's happening? It's Jamie. It is April 7th, 2023, and it's Good Friday. Friday here on going into the weekend. So what I wanted to talk about today is not just really about what stocks I'm trading. As interesting as that can be for people to discuss, like, you know, we really have that, because for me it's not. I'm not fantastic at showing charts and technical analysis and fundamentals, and I'm not that guy. I can have a conversation with you, share my opinions, you know, show a couple things that work for me, but I do this primarily because of my kids, to have some reference of what was dad doing or thinking at this time, right? And really just thinking, if I'm gone, if something happens to me sooner than later, what is some better video content that I would leave for any kid that would have more value than, like, hey, what were you trading today, right? Which, you know, were you trading LABU? Were you trading Palantir? Were you trading Tesla? You know, things like that. Like, yeah, I was. But how's that going to help you 10 years from now, other than investing? What's more important, the stocks I'm trading today, or the discipline of, you know, how to spend your money and where to put your money and how to kind of shift and pivot with the world events and things that are happening? I think, humbly, that is more important, in my opinion. You know, right now, it's like, okay, as I do these videos this past month, and I started to get my focus on what was happening with the BRICS currency, the world reserve currency, and CBDC, you know, central banking digital currency coming into play. Some of the partnerships being formed with, you know, Saudi Arabia, and how they're going to not use the, you know, all those type of things, right? So whenever you turn on the algorithms, when I go to Google or YouTube or anything, it's like that stuff just pops up now. Fear. Anxiety, worry, all these things of impending doom and the crash of the United States and the US dollar, and pain is coming, and a 20-30% decline, you know, like it's non-stop. So I think it's good to be prepared. Don't get me wrong. I think it's very important to pay attention to potential catastrophes and you know, things that can happen that will disrupt your life. Like when the pandemic happened, I don't think most of us were prepared for what happened for that first year, especially. Like, I mean, what happened after the first year? We got a little bit more, you know, adjusted to what was happening, and you know, we adjusted, right? We had to adapt to what was going on, like wiping down the food, right? Understanding that the shelves were wiped out of toilet paper, paper towels, right? And what foods you could buy, just, you know, all these different things. People working from home, people moving, people getting laid off, kids out of school. Like, that was not a ideal situation. And if the US dollar loses its place as the world reserve currency, there's really nothing you and I can do about it, right? The things that play out in life, it's just like you're saying that, you know, I don't want to die, but eventually I'm going to die. And nobody likes talking about that. My kids, or my wife especially, is like, shut up! What are you talking about? I'm like, I don't talk about it that often, but I'm prepared spiritually. Like I'm saying, Good Friday is, you know, my faith is, I'm a breath away from eternity. So when that happens, my belief is I'm been paid for by the grace of God through the blood of Jesus, and I have eternal life as a gift of God. So my soul is in a good place because of what He did, right? And regardless of what you believe, I'm like, I believe that, and if I'm wrong, I'm either just dead and it's over. But if my faith is right, I'm going to die and stand before God, and whatever eternity looks like, I'm going to, like, hey, I didn't earn it. He did. He gave it to me as a free gift, and I accept it. Not as a get out of jail free card, but that's just what I believe and accept. So if I say, hey, the world's reserve currency in my lifetime, for the time I have left here, may change. It doesn't mean I should just keep doing whatever, right? Like, I got to say, well, let me try to pivot. Let me try to do some things. And one of the things that really I've been thinking about is precious metals, right? Like, it's nothing It's nothing new. It's been around for thousands of years. Some people have been doing it, and regardless if gold sinks back to 1800 or if it pops up to 2500, like, to me, it's more about, is some of my money, if some of my money safe in precious metals like gold and silver? Where do I store it? How much do I keep? Where do I put it? Should I put it in? Like, these are things I'm thinking about. Real estate. I was listening to Russell Brand this morning. I don't listen to him that often, but he does entertain me and generally has some pretty decent information if you can get through his craziness. But his sense of humor is pretty funny. But he's talking about how some statistic is saying that in big business, investment firms, companies, whatever, are going to own 40% of single-family houses in the United States by 2030. I thought that was really interesting. I haven't looked into it, but I'm going to imagine I'm going to find that that's probably some good data. And if that's the case, what does that tell you? Like think about that for a second. You got cash. You got a lot of cash, and you're like, where do we put it? Because cash may not be the best place to have it anymore. And we put it in stocks and bonds. We put it in into companies, which the Warren Buffett approach is he owns companies through stock shares, and he owns these businesses. He's a large shareholder. Berkshire Hathaway owns these businesses. Invested in companies like Apple and Coca-Cola, for example. Okay. Now, I don't know if Warren Buffett owns gold. I gotta look that up. Warren and Charlie Munger. But if other ones have a portfolio where they're saying, okay, we own this hotel, we own these hotels, we own these resorts, we own these apartment complexes. This is part of our portfolio. They cost this many millions or billions of dollars, and they generate rents, even with the vacancy, where it covers our debt and we generate a profit. I get that. I get that because of my ghetto investment 15 some years ago, where I bought a little garage in New Bedford for $60,000. It had 15 spots where you could, it was an open garage where people parked their cars, and I basically charged $100, $75 to $100 a spot when I first started. And I learned that even if it wasn't full, I still had enough people in there to cover my rent and still made a little money, even if after I paid everything. And I'm basic as they come, and I say, wow, I'm making a few $100 here. So I might be onto something. So these big companies doing that are saying, we need to put this cash somewhere. Let's buy up these houses because people need a place to live, and there's a housing shortage. And even though they're making affordable housing, they're going to buy up these houses because they don't have to worry about the rates. What's the interest rate? What kind of rate is being offered? They don't have to worry about that because they can buy it cash. There's no rates. They're just going to own it, and then they're going to rent it out, and there's their percentage in cash on cash. So if they buy it for I don't know, a house that's $100,000 or $500,000 or whatever the price is. I mean, it seems like they're buying those type of houses. If they're getting $2,000 a month, and there's been an increase in rents, I think the national increase is 24%. Then what does that tell you about your cash that you'll be getting back? Like, if you invested $100,000, where are you getting that type of return on the cash that you invested up front? I mean, these are things that I'm thinking about. Now, I don't have millions and millions of dollars to invest like that. I have to be very careful. It's like to me, it's like rock climbing. Like very, all right, this is how strong you are and you're chalked up. I'm not a rock climber, but I'm just trying to use a metaphor here. So if I get up there, like, all right, I got a good grip, I'm not going to slip. Now I got to get to the next one, right? Now I got to get up here and get my foot, and it's just like one step up, a little bit further, a little bit higher, and you're climbing. I can't really afford to make a slip where I go back 15 steps. So I'm a little more cautious, right? Maybe, than someone else. I'm really looking at how much gold and silver should I buy? Should I buy another multifamily apartment type thing, or should I just really focus on a 20-40 unit, which is what I've been thinking about? But there's been some changes So when people ask me, not me, like me, friends and people that know me day to day, hey, what are you investing in? Hey, I had somebody yesterday, customer, big trader, right? Who knows I trade. Older guy, came in, brought me a coffee. He was doing some service at one of our dealerships. And he said, hey, are you in today? I want to come see you. And we were talking about all the stuff that's going on. And he was sharing with me some of the stuff he was trading. One of which was, let's see. Oh, my goodness. I can't think of it right now. I will put it up here, all right? But whatever it was, I forget exactly. It had to do with AI. And he's like, hey, maybe check this out. I'm trading that. So I bought a few shares. I think I bought 25 shares of the company. The shares were trading around two something. So I'm just dipping my toe in certain things because I figured at any time the ice could break. I have no real faith in this stuff. I have to really know I can't take these bigger risks like I might have been doing before and buying hundreds or thousands of shares. I mean, one time a guy told me about this company called HPIL, which had this thing called the Apogee, which was this company that was developing a self-charging transmission. Sounded great, and he was vested in it. So I was like, okay, well, I'll buy 1 million shares. It was like $3,000. It wasn't like anything crazy. But it tanked, never went anywhere. It fell apart, and I lost the money. So I wrote it off. So that's $3,000 out the window that you got to write off because I just took it as a friend of mine's word. Like, hey, this is a good company. It could go up to $1, and if you buy 1 million shares, it's $1 million. Well, it didn't work out that way. I didn't do enough due diligence, and I didn't just kind of be a little bit more hesitant and watch it. I just like, yeah, all right, let me jump in there, right? Like a casino. To me, that's gambling. Versus you do your research on a company and things like that, and you look at it for the future and who's the CEO, like who's running the company, what's their track record, what are these products? Like, you get a little bit more involved if you're going to really invest, whether it's $300, $3,000, 30,000, 300,000, 3 million, whatever it is on the scale of the person investing, where they're like, I'm going to be a little bit more cautious and careful where I put this money. And I mention this because with the climate right now of what's going on and hearing these things that are constant, right? Like you're getting bombarded by. If you put the TV on, I walk by our service departments and I will see the news is up, and man, it is nothing good. There's nothing positive when I walk by. I know I'm not going to see anything great. It's about war, or it's about a bank collapse. It's something bad going on this giant TV. It's just conditioning. So I'm going to end with this. I don't have a solution today, but this is just the sentiment of today. So whatever I'm trading, it's like my expectations are not high. If anything, I'm buying SQQQQ, SQQQQ, because that means the market is going down. I'm not telling you to do that. It's not financial advice. But TQQQQ is up, SQQQQ is down. So I'm like, that's pretty simple, right? If the market the sentiment is fear. But there's a Bible verse. Let me see if I can remember. I'm not great at this stuff, but I think might be Matthew chapter 6, verse 27 and verse 24, I think. I got a phone call, so I got interrupted there, but Matthew 6, 27, I'm probably not going to quote it right, so don't beat me up. But it says, which of you by worrying can add a single hour to his life? Which of us can, by worrying and being anxious, it can add 1 hour to our life by worrying, right? It's pointless. And then in verse 34, down a little bit, there's a lot of good stuff there, but it says something in regards of, therefore do not worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow will worry about itself. It says a lot for me, because with all the stuff going on in the world and the day-to-day things that happen, I realize there's things I can control, and there's things that are out of my control. And worrying about all the things that are happening, I can pray about it. I can take action with the things that are in my power. I can love my family. I can make certain preparations and use the tools that God gave me. But I'm not going to worry about the things that are out of my control. Have some confidence. Lean on your family. Lean on your friends if you have them. And if not, you lean on the Lord. Right? So whatever you do, if you celebrate it, happy Easter. And I'll see you guys next video.